Hey guys, Josh here, and the Steam Next Fest started on October 3rd and it will last until October 10th at 10 AM Pacific time. If you don't know what Steam Next Fest is, it's an event where hundreds of developers put up demos for their upcoming games on Steam for anyone to try completely for free. That of course includes a lot of farming games, so for this video I compiled 10 upcoming farming games with demos that you can try right now. I will also try most of them in the next few days, so make sure you're subscribed if you don't want to miss that out. Before we start though, it's not part of Steam Next Fest, but there is currently a demo available for Doraemon Story of Seasons, Friends of the Great Kingdom. I did a video on my first impressions, but I definitely recommend you try that game if you can. But going back to the Steam Next Fest, our first game is Aka, a beautiful game I already covered on my channel, and I even had the chance to interview its developer. This is a shorter, smaller scale game in which you play as a red panda that explores a peaceful universe filled with secrets. There are different islands such as a Pine Tree Island, Maple Tree Island or Bamboo Island, and each one will have its own atmosphere, biome and characters, villagers or even giant creatures to interact with. This game also features a crafting system, so you can gather materials and decorate around your home. It's also a farming game obviously, so there is farming, but it is inspired by permaculture where you have to take into account things like what plant will grow best beside what other plant in your garden design, and also wild animals will play a role in how your plants grow. This game just looks so calming and beautiful, and it's the first one I will try whenever I have some free time. Speaking of calming, Sprout Valley is a farming sim in its most simple form. I played the demo for it a few months ago, and while it's nothing revolutionary, it's a chill little experience that is definitely worth checking out. You play as Nico, a cute cat who tries to find a peaceful place to live in and grow a beautiful garden. You will gather resources and sell them, buy some seeds, start farming, and in your free time you will explore procedurally generated islands on which you will find new resources and other characters. If you're looking for something that is very simple, easy, and doesn't require too much of your time, you should try out Sprout Valley. The next game is probably the opposite of that. Wanderlost has farming mechanics, but it's a lot more action heavy and lean towards the survival genre. You will need to gather materials and build a shelter as you try to survive in a zombie infested world. I really like how this game looks, the animation and everything looks very polished, the combat seems exciting, and it's a nice change of pace from other maybe more cozy games featured on today's list. I believe Kickstarter backers have been able to play this game for a while now, and from what people say it seems to be pretty good, but the demo is out now at the moment for everybody to enjoy, and I will make sure to check that one out before it goes away. The next game is also a nice change from the usual as it takes place on Mars. Mars Base lets you play as a botanist on an expedition to the Red Planet, and your goal is to turn barren soil into fertile farmland so you can prepare the next home for humans. What I like about this concept is that farming in space looks very different, of course, than farming on planet Earth. You will need different crafting facilities, labs, solar power plants, and greenhouses in order to give your crops a chance to grow. Once you figure out how things work on this planet, you will also have robots and other tools that will help you automate some of the work. As you progress, more people will move into your colony, bringing their expertise with them, and you will help each other out. I think this is a really fun twist to the farming sim genre and worth a look if you're tired of the usual formula. The full release will also be coming out very soon on October 17, so now is a very good time to try it while there's a demo available. If you like this space theme, I think Roboplant could be an interesting alternative to Mars Base. It also takes place in space and will release in November, which is pretty soon as well. In this game, you're building and managing hydroponic farms on a different planet, assisted by a team of robots called Bebop 179. You will build a factory, expand it little by little, but also make sure that your robots are well taken care of. For this, you will have to build rooms for them to relax in, socialize, and recharge their batteries. This game seems to lean a bit more towards a management sim, where you oversee everything that's happening, rather than a regular farming sim where you control just one character. And it looks quite innovative, plus the robots are cute, so I'm definitely adding this game to my wishlist. The next game, Drako Noka, also features a world where the land became uninhabitable, but instead of colonizing foreign planets, people live on the back of giant dragons. You will have to build a village, recruit new villagers with different skill sets, and even create your own family. The game also features the ability to battle with other dragons, which sounds pretty fun, and it reminds me of the battles you could do with the Golem, Ymir, in Rune Factory Tides of Destiny. This game has interesting ideas, I think, and I will check it out, but it's good to keep in mind that it is being developed with the game making tool Wolf RPG Editor, which is very similar to the more popular RPG Maker, And in my experience, games that are not turn-based RPGs can often end up feeling a bit clunky with those kind of tools, as that's not what they were originally designed for. But sometimes results can still be surprising, so I will keep an eye out for this game. And the same thing applies for Harvest Island, which I believe is made with RPG Maker, correct me if I'm wrong. But in this story-driven farming simulator, gods will ask you for items every day, and you will have to go around the island, farm, and craft in order to gather the offerings. In return, you will get blessed points that can be used to upgrade your farm and build things. I think this game has an interesting premise. I like the idea of offerings. I also like the character portraits and atmosphere of the game. I'm just curious as to whether or not it will feel maybe a bit too much like it's been made with RPG Maker, but there is a free demo available, so it doesn't cost anything to check it out before we buy, and I will probably do that and update you on my thoughts. The next game I think is pretty cute. It's called Border Town, and it is an open world sandbox survival and farming game in which you're pretty much free to do whatever you'd like in a large, randomly generated map. There are different biomes to explore and gather resources in, and it reminds me of Wanderlost a little bit, as there seems to be a focus on exploration, survival, and there's also some combat and base building. One unique feature that this game has is that you can use the animals you raised not only for riding, but also working and helping you in battles. Will it be better than Wanderlust? Though I'm not too sure about the quality of this game. It looks cute, but it also looks a little bit cheap at the same time. I'm not too sure, but I will give it a try. Instead of a procedurally generated world, Miniland will let you create your own. You will start with a small patch of land, but every day you will receive some biome tiles and place them wherever you want. This kind of reminds me of Above Snakes, a great survival game currently in early access, where you expand the world using tiles. So this game reminds me of a mix of Above Snakes with the art style of Apico. This game looks like a mix of many great things. As with all of these games, you will farm, gather resources, and craft. You will also find goblins around the world, and if you build houses for them, they will trade some unique items with you. I'm looking forward to seeing if there's any strategy involved with the placement of the biomes, but I think that's a fun take on the survival genre. Lastly, we have Lucie's Potager. Graphically, it might not look like the most refined game, but bear with me, the gameplay sounds very fun. This one is a shop management game where you play as Lucie, a sort of human mixed with a squirrel. I'm also not too sure how I feel about the characters, but you will forage and farm in order to make the best produce to sell in your shop. It looks like it's focusing on time management and decision making, where seasons will affect the environments in many ways, and you will have to make choices like, for example, picking flowers now as they are blooming, or wait a little bit longer for them to grow into fruits and make some meals out of them. This game is not only about selling food, you can also use the things you find and grow to make cosmetics, clothes, medicines, paper, and so much more. Customers will also have their own preferences, as some may only shop when it's sunny, others will only in the morning, and that might affect the products you will be able to sell during those times. I'm really interested in those ideas. Of course, it will depend on how well they're executed, but if you're looking for a game where time management and strategy are important, I think this might be a good one. And that's pretty much it, guys. These are the 10 farming games you can play right now during Steam Next Fest. Let me know which one you've tried or which one you're planning to try. Do you have any favorite? For me, I think Wanderlust is probably a safe bet. It's one of those games that you can tell just by looking at it that a lot of care is being put into it and looks very polished. But I'm also interested in Aka for its relaxing atmosphere and the two space games Mars Base and Roboplant, just to see how they manage to handle growing crops on a different planet. I am planning to cover these games in future videos, so make sure to subscribe if you don't want to miss out. Leave a like if you want to see more list of upcoming farming games, and I'll see you all in the next video.